It's easy to say, oh, if I get a raise or a high salary, I'm going to have more money to spend. But after considering the cost it takes to get to a higher salary, or perhaps the lifestyle that comes with more money, a lot of people wind up with the same bank account balance no matter how much more money they make. On a series by Khan Academy, they go through the monthly finances of people with different professions. You would think that at higher salaries, people would naturally have more money in their bank accounts. But interestingly, after running through like a monthly budget, a lot of people come up with a similar savings amount after paying off their regular bills and going through some of the big expenses. So, before we start, please like, share, and subscribe to my content, and I will love you forever. So, this huge high salary to low bank account discrepancy can really be shown at the high level. So, say for instance, professions such as doctors, software engineers, or investment bankers, people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, it takes a couple big sacrifices to get to those levels. I mean, to be on their career track, the common expenses that I noticed from their monthly budgets were very high levels of rent or mortgage payments, student loan payments, tax payments, and miscellaneous sort of expenses. Now, for rent, these sort of highly paid professionals often need to rent in the expensive parts of the city that they work in, or they end up buying a very expensive house to be part of a very nice community or neighborhood. For example, in the US, investment bankers often live in New York, and software engineers often live in San Francisco. Now, both of these locations are some of the world's most expensive places to live. And so, say if 40% of your after tax paycheck goes to rent, it's often the same for these guys, despite having a much higher salary. Now, for school, they either have to go through specialized education, be that through many years of graduate school, certifications, or maybe having to attend a very expensive, prestigious university that charges a hell lot of tuition. Basically, these people end up having a very heavy student loan burden to pay off over many, many years. In terms of taxes, naturally the scale sort of works, whereas the more money you make, the higher income tax you get. Well, income taxes don't really care about how much you have to pay in rent or student loans. They take money from your salary first as what they see it as. So coming out of schools, these professionals or these higher paid professionals make so much on a salary basis, they're practically at the top bucket for income tax. And lastly, for miscellaneous stuff, I consider these sort of your optional expenses. With higher salary, I notice that people frequently fall into societal expectations much more easily and start buying stuff to sort of fit in. For instance, people want to drive more luxurious cars. They want to send their kids to the best private schools and tutors. They might go to expensive restaurants or take expensive vacations. They might start buying more expensive fashion and maybe pursue more expensive hobbies. So what's the lesson? You should continue to pursue a higher salary, but find ways to limit some of these big recurring costs. Mark Cuban often tells people to live like a broke student even when they're already working and making money. This way, you're living in a cheaper place, for instance, or have like a cheaper form of education, but still are able to make a high career salary. Then you're not burdening yourself with sort of all these extra costs and end up having more saving. And this way, that's how you can expand your bank account. Now stay tuned for a second video that I'll be putting out in the future. I'll be showing you real life examples of the monthly budget of some of these highly paid professionals and some of the lessons that we can take from line by line, the things that they're overspending in and some areas that they're doing really well in.